Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, my name is Ian Taylor, for those of you that don't know me. Norfolk County Council's project manager for the construction of the NDR, and it is my privilege and indeed a huge honour for me to welcome you to today's ceremony to celebrate the imminent opening of the final section of the scheme, finally linking the NDR to the A47 at Posick. I've been personally involved in the scheme for more than 10 years, and it's wonderful to see everyone's hard work finally coming to fruition. Talk about everyone, you may notice that the people speaking today are all men, but this is far from a true reflection. There have been many women involved in the scheme, both in the construction team and in the background staff, and we did feature in the in BBC for International Women's Day, so I was asked to say that. So yes, it's been a huge effort from everybody that's involved, and here we are, we're nearly there. The speakers today are Martin Wilby, who is Chairman of Environment, Development and Transport Committee for the County Council, Andrew Proctor, who is Leader of Broadland District Council, Phil Clifton, who is the Managing Director of Balfour Beatty Highways, Cliff Jordan, Leader of Norfolk County Council, and finally the Right Honourable Keith Simpson, MP for Broadland, who will oversee the cutting of the Union Jack ribbon. Just before handing over to Martin, I would particularly like to thank both Martin and Andrew Proctor, who have been enormously helpful and supporting, and helped and supported me indeed during the construction progress. So without more ado, thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Ian, and a really big thank you to you. I know it's been a long time coming, this road, but we're finally seeing the end of it, so well done to you. So it was not so long ago, last November in fact, that we were marking the early opening of the first stretch of what was then known as the Norwich Northern Distributor Road. It's a bit of a mouthful, I thought. So how much has happened since then? The first phase, the Fakenham Road to Cromer Road, was followed before Christmas by the next stretch, which was nearly 8 kilometres, or nearly 5 miles if you prefer, to the Wroxham Road. Both phases opened ahead of programme, and hopes were high that we would have this final phase open for Easter. That was until we had the unwelcome visit of the beast from the east. It's been blamed a lot, that has, for many things. But none of us will be surprised that this knocked the programme back. And Easter itself brought another deluge. The fact that we're here today with completion and opening tantalisingly close is no mean feat. There's been no lack of effort. I know everyone has been working hard to open the road as soon as possible. But the joint Balfour Beatty and County Council construction team have rightly kept their focus on delivering the project safely and to a high standard. Those are the right priorities, and opening will not be long delayed. In fact, I'm delighted to tell you that the actual opening to traffic on the final stretch of the Broadland Northway will be on Monday night. This is next Monday. This final link connecting the open sections to the A47 and the National Dual Carriageway Network has taken longest because it's been the most difficult. Close working with Network Rail was very demanding, and the ground conditions are the worst of the whole route. Norwich Brick Earth is its official name, but when wet, more accurate description is clag. It must be a Norfolk word. I've never heard it anywhere else. I will leave it to Andrew to tell you how much this means to Broadland and a large part of Norfolk. But it has taken a huge amount of work, going right back to the early 2000s, to see the project through to this point. It is one of the biggest road building projects ever taken on by a county council. But it has also relied upon the support of Broadland District Council and indeed all of the Greater Norwich Growth Board authorities, including Norwich City and South Norfolk, and a New Anglia LEP. Today we're particularly pleased that Keith Simpson MP for Broadland is here to help us acknowledge the support of the Department for Transport and the Government. Over £98 million of funding has come from the national coffers. Thank you. plus a further 10 million allocated by the New Anglia Lab. Of course, that won't stop us asking for more. And we're already asking for more today already. But this road is just a start to unlock Norfolk's potential. We need to press the government for the earliest possible delivery of improvements to the A47 and to keep focus on our goal of full dualling from Lowestoft through to the A1 in the Midlands. I know that our MPs will be shoulder to shoulder with us on that. The County Council also has its own priorities. The Norwich Western Link, joining Broadland Northway to the A47 west of Norwich. Great Yarmouth Third River Crossing, and of course the Long Stratton Bypass. But today we can mark the delivery of one of the important piece of Norfolk's infrastructure jigsaw. Don't let anybody tell you that Broadland Northway is a road to nowhere. It's a road to a better, brighter, more prosperous future for Norfolk and the people who live there and live here. But for me, a personal thank you to everyone that's been involved with the scheme from the really early days and inception of it. I think it was before the year 2000s. So I'd like to personally thank everybody who's built the road and been involved with the scheme from day one. A big thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Martin. Good afternoon, everybody. Andrew Proctor, I'm the leader of Broadland District Council. Hopefully you've read all about it, A Road to the 21st Century. Good, a few nods around, so I assume the answer to that is yes. I suppose on a day like this we could have some sun, but it's trying to get through. Just a few words really to elaborate on what Martin has said. A tribute to everybody who's been involved in this, the construction people, the design people, the people who worked hard behind the scenes, the lobbying people, the MPs, all the funders. But can I just also mention John Birchall, standing to the left, giving the instructions out earlier on about how long you shouldn't speak for, so I won't be too long. John's dodged and also taken a few bullets in the last couple of years in what he's done, but to be fair to him, he's done a tremendous job in keeping everybody informed about what's going on. So, as well as all the people who built the road, John, you've played a really big part recently in doing it. And again, I think today, well, we've all supported the road standing here today. There's been some opponents over the time. I'm sure there'll be some as time goes on. But again, let's be fair, as the road continues to show its potential in what it is in the Norfolk economy and the Broadland economy, there'll be far less people who say this is not a good thing to do. Martin talked about infrastructure, opening up infrastructure, a piece of infrastructure that we said we would do to help us in our growth agenda, and this is now starting the first phase. And again, perhaps whatever it's going to be called for the future, Northern Distributor Road, the A1270, Broadland Northway, say that again, Broadland Northway, that should be the road it's going to be called. It'll be one that's been remembered not as a road to nowhere, but as a road to opportunity. That's the key. And perhaps the next key in terms of opportunity is completing the link right through to the Longwater. And I know Stuart Clancy's standing at the back there. Let me just pay a little bit of tribute to Stuart. He is the chairman of the Western Link steering panel, is it, Stuart? Something like that. Anyway, the County Council, he's the man to get the Western Link moving right through. Now, thank you very much indeed, folks.
Lovely, thanks, Andrew. Phil Clifton, Managing Director of Balfour Beatty. Good afternoon. May I thank our guests for taking the time and effort to celebrate the completion of NDR. I'd first of all like to thank Norfolk County Council, our suppliers, the many small medium enterprises that we've used to build, the supply chain that we've worked with, and the project team at large. They've worked absolutely tirelessly to deliver this high quality route, which will bring multiple benefits to the local community. Just giving a very brief scheme overview. The scheme is 20 kilometres long, 13 roundabouts. We've witnessed some of those as we've gone round today, and 8 bridges. We've moved 2.2 million cubic metres of earth. To try and put that into some perspective, that's filling Carrow Road 3 times over. I'm proud to say that this has all been achieved with a really great safety record, and really echo what's been said before in terms of safety comes first. It's not been without its challenges, as these schemes often do. We've worked through severe weather conditions which have impacted both the earthworks and the surfacing. However, I've been really pleased with the innovative solutions that we found to safely overcome the setbacks, and that resulted in the opening of the first and second sections of the scheme ahead of schedule. I think it's also important to recognise that this project has not only been about delivering a new dual carriageway, but we've also placed great importance on creating a lasting legacy within the local community. Our team of 17 STEM ambassadors have attended over 22 events for primary schools and colleges across Norwich, and this really has enabled us to educate the local people on the vast number of career opportunities available, which is really timely because 2018 is the year of engineering, so great timing there. Many members of our workforce are part of the local community, and through ongoing training they have been upskilled, enabling newly acquired skills to remain in the local community, which is really important to Balfour Beatty. From an environmental perspective, we've worked hard to protect local wildlife and enhance the environment. 29 balancing ponds, 7 bat bridges, numerous wildlife ponds planted with native aquatic and marginal plants. And new homes for wildlife, including owl boxes and bat houses. Supporting the environment in this way, I think you'll agree, will deliver benefits to the local environment. So delivering a major project of this scale demands a really true partnership ethos engendered by a fully integrated team, and I thank Norfolk County Council for the part they've played. This project has been touched by thousands and thousands of people from when it was first thought of to the opening ceremony today. There are 2 people though that I really would like to thank. Firstly, Chris Edmond, who's over here, who is my project manager, and Ian Taylor. These guys have worked tirelessly. We have thrown everything at them, and they've stood firm and they've worked together in a real collaborative way, and I really am grateful for your professionalism throughout the whole of this. Thank you very, very much. Once again, I'd like to thank you all very much for your support. And we're very proud to have been part of a significant piece of infrastructure. I'll now hand over to Cliff Jordan, leader of Norfolk County Council.
Thank you very much. I have to say, it makes me rather proud to stand here today. I can remember when this was first was on the blocks in the 90s. I also remember Adrian Gunson fighting like blazes to get it into pit site so they could actually talk about it and get the enthusiasm behind it. This is Norfolk's future. This is part of our infrastructure for the future. There are more to come, no doubt. There'll be other things to come and other battles to fight. But today, this is brilliant. And I think that the whole of Norfolk will benefit from this, because not everything is manufactured around here. From King's Lynn can come and use this road to go through to Yarmouth. This is a real futuristic piece of administrative style. I really have to say thank you to everybody involved in this. That's all I've got to say. I'm just a proud leader of County Council. Now I'm going to hand over to the man who do the real job, the Right Honourable Keith Simpson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I always sort of shudder somewhat when Cliffy Jordan tries to pretend that he's just a poor old Norfolk boy without much influence of any kind, and I always advise people, if you shake hands with Cliffy, always count your fingers after. It's a great pleasure to be able to come here at this opening of the last stretch. I live in Codeshall. I've already discovered the bit of the Broadland Way is incredibly useful to get round North Norwich. And I'm not going to repeat what others have said, but I think we should think in terms of the impact this is having on the local community. Not only people living in Norwich, represented here today by Chloe Smith, my parliamentary neighbour, but also all the villagers around here, and even my old friend Gillian Shepherd, who now lives part-time up at Burnham Market, has found that the easiest way to get to Colchester is to get down onto the Northern Distributor route and get round it. A vast amount of work has been put into this. I think my final thoughts are that I will be campaigning hard, supporting Stuart Clancy and his team to make certain that this is not the road to nowhere, that the final link onto the A47 is completed. It's not impossible, it will be challenging, it'll be expensive, there'll be environmental issues to look at. But I think that the very fact that we've completed 80% of it shows that it can be done. So once again, thank everybody very much indeed for coming along. And I know that in a short, what the Army calls operational pause, I've got to cut a ribbon and formally open it. Thank you very much.
Right, just because we think that the media will get terrible at this. If we can get the media this side and everybody else that side, we'll stretch the ribbon across that way. Or would you prefer it the other way around? All right, they want it the other way around. What do I know? Right, so can we have everybody moving behind me, please? And then we to have a couple of ribbon carriers. Well, it's you will see that we haven't gone for anything boring like real ribbon. We've gone for something very patriotic.
Scissors, carriers. Scissors. Right. Everybody's on parade. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure on behalf of all those represented here to cut this ribbon and formally open the last part of the Northern Distributor Road. Hooray!